Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a truth that may shake the very foundation of what you've been told. You will never attract what you want in life. Never. Because the universe, life, God, whatever name you give it, does not answer your wants. It answers your identity. It mirrors your state of being. So if you're sitting there desperately wanting love, but you walk through life with a heart full of bitterness, you repel it. If you say you want success, but you carry yourself like a victim, waiting for a handout or a miracle, you'll never hold it. This is not just motivation. This is law. And tonight, I'm not here to whisper sweet affirmations in your ear. I'm here to wake you up. Because you don't get what you wish for. You get what you are. And if you stay with me, if you lean in for the next few minutes, I will show you how to shift your identity, not just to chase what you want, but to be ECOME. Desire without alignment is delusion. You can want all you want. Write it in journals. Paste it on your vision board. Scream it to the heavens. But if who you are on a daily basis contradicts that desire, you will never hold it in your hands. This is the hard truth that most people avoid because it forces responsibility. It strips away the comfort of blaming bad luck, bad timing, or bad people. Wanting something is easy. Everyone wants more money, better relationships, health, and success. But alignment demands work. It demands a transformation at the identity level. It asks not just, what do you want? But, are you prepared to become the person who deserves it, sustains it, and multiplies it? Think of a person who says they want to be a millionaire. They fantasize about it, they talk about it, maybe even read books about it. But if they still avoid discipline, waste time, spend more than they earn, and avoid risk, then they are fundamentally misaligned with the very thing they say they desire. That's not ambition. That's fantasy. That's delusion. Real desire shows itself in your habits, in your thoughts, in the people you surround yourself with, in the way you speak to yourself when no one is watching. It bleeds into every corner of your life. Alignment isn't a strategy, it's a state of being. You're not aligned with wealth if you live in fear of it. You're not aligned with love if you carry resentment or self-hate. You're not aligned with greatness if you settle for average behavior when no one's keeping score. Desire is only powerful when it's matched by character. Otherwise, it becomes a form of self-torture, an endless loop of longing without fulfillment. You see the life you want, but you remain someone incompatible with it. That gap between what you want and who you are is where frustration, jealousy, and helplessness are born. People wonder why they keep attracting pain, mediocrity, or chaos. It's because their desire is not enough to override their vibration. Life doesn't speak English. It speaks energy. And energy doesn't lie. If you truly want something, stop asking for it and start aligning with it. If you want peace, embody peace. If you want respect, carry yourself with dignity. If you want opportunity, be the kind of person who creates value wherever they go. You cannot live out of alignment and expect life to bend in your favor. It never will. But the moment your identity reflects your desire, not your fantasies, but your deep soul-level intention, things begin to change. Not through magic, but through alignment. Through consistency, through being, because when you become the living embodiment of what you want, it doesn't just come to you, it sticks, and it grows, and more finds you because you finally stopped chasing and started becoming. Your identity is the magnet, not your wishes, not your affirmations, not even your goals. It is who you are at your core, your self-image, your beliefs, your emotional home that shapes the frequency you emit. And that frequency is what life responds to. You can speak all the right words and set all the right goals, but if deep down you see yourself as average, as undeserving, as someone who tries but never wins, then that is the energy you carry into every room, every relationship, every opportunity. And make no mistake, people feel it, life feels it, the world mirrors it. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about realizing that you are always attracting according to your identity, whether consciously or not. The real question is not, what do I want? But who am I becoming? Identity is not fixed. That's the beautiful part. It's not about where you came from or what labels the world placed on you. It's about what you're willing to claim as true for yourself moving forward. If your identity is grounded in fear, you will subconsciously repel abundance because abundance requires trust, courage, expansion. If your identity is built on scarcity, you'll push away love because real connection demands vulnerability, not control. And if you see yourself as a struggler, then success will always feel foreign, temporary, even uncomfortable because it doesn't match your self-concept. You don't attract what you want because wants are surface level. Identity lives deeper. It governs your decisions, your posture, your habits, your language. The person who sees themselves as powerful acts differently than the one who sees themselves as a victim. They walk differently. They speak differently. They risk differently. And because they act from a higher frequency of belief, life begins to organize itself around that signal. It's not coincidence. It's physics. Energy attracts like energy. So if you find yourself asking, why haven't I gotten what I desire? Look inward. Don't ask what you've been doing wrong. Ask who you've been being. Who are you at the level of assumption? What do you assume to be true about life, about people, about yourself? Because those assumptions build the walls of your identity, and those walls either trap you or transform you. If you want to attract a higher life, build a higher identity, not with fake confidence or temporary motivation, but with relentless honesty and daily embodiment. Upgrade the image you hold of yourself. Rewrite the narrative. Don't just chase a dream, become a version of yourself that lives in alignment with that dream as if it's already real. Because once you become that version, the world around you won't have a choice. It will respond not to your desire, but to your being. Life doesn't respond to your wishes. It reflects your truth. You can wish for a better life all day long, but life will not hand it to you simply because you want it. It will reflect back to you what you consistently embody, your mindset, your habits, your dominant thoughts and emotions. This is one of the most misunderstood realities. People think if they just want something badly enough, if they visualize it hard enough, life will change. But the truth is, life doesn't change in response to emotion alone. It changes in response to alignment, to congruence between your inner world and the life you claim to seek. The universe is a mirror, not a vending machine. If you are constantly struggling, look inward. If chaos follows you, don't blame the world. Ask yourself what internal storm is being reflected outward. If people keep taking advantage of you, it may not be about them. It may be about the parts of you that haven't set boundaries, that haven't healed, that don't yet believe you're worthy of more. This is not about blame. It's about reclaiming power, because once you understand that life mirrors your internal state, you stop begging it to change and start transforming yourself instead. Wanting love is not the same as being loved. You might crave affection, commitment, connection, but if your heart is closed, guarded, or still bleeding from the past, you'll keep attracting situations that confirm that inner wound. You'll meet people who can't give love fully, or who leave, or who reflect your own fears back to you. Why? Because you're not actually aligned with the love you seek. You're aligned with the fear of losing it, or the belief that you don't deserve it. And that's what life mirrors. The same goes for success. You can want to be successful, but if your habits are lazy, your self-talk is negative, your focus is scattered, you're not sending out the frequency of success. You're sending out the energy of self-doubt, of distraction, of inconsistency, and that is exactly what you attract. More opportunities to doubt, more reasons to feel lost, more results that fall short. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't distort. It reflects with brutal honesty, and that is a gift if you're willing to face it. Because the moment you see your life as a reflection, not as an attack or a punishment, you reclaim the ability to change it. You realize that the power has been with you the entire time, not in the wish, not in the want, but in your willingness to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with what you truly desire. Life will never give you what you beg for, but it will give you a perfect reflection of who you are being right now. Change the reflection by changing the source. Change you, and the world changes too. Transformation does not begin with having, it begins with being. Most people approach change backward. They think, once I have the money, then I'll be confident. Once I have the relationship, then I'll feel secure. Once I have the opportunity, then I'll act like a leader. But this mindset keeps them stuck in an endless loop of waiting, because having is always dependent on external circumstances, while being is entirely within your control. True transformation, the kind that lasts and multiplies, always starts with becoming the person who would naturally attract and maintain the things you desire. It's not about faking it. It's about embodying it before it shows up. The world doesn't withhold from you because you're unworthy. It simply aligns with your identity. You don't rise to the level of your wishes. You rise or fall to the level of your standards, your self-image, your habits, and your beliefs. You must first become the type of person for whom your dreams are not extraordinary but expected, not miraculous but inevitable. This requires radical honesty. You must ask yourself, am I being the person who can handle what I'm asking for? Because if the answer is no, life is doing you a favor by making you wait. Want to be wealthy? Stop focusing on getting rich and start focusing on developing the traits of a wealthy person: discipline, vision, patience, responsibility, and value creation. Want to be deeply loved? Then become someone who loves without condition, communicates with clarity, heals their wounds, and no longer chases but magnetizes. When you shift your identity to match the reality you desire, the need to force things fades away. You don't have to manipulate or beg or control outcomes. You just attract differently. Most people are waiting to get there so they can finally feel free or joyful or worthy. But this mindset delays everything. The truth is, you can choose to embody freedom now, embody joy now, embody worthiness now. And from that state, you begin to take actions that align with the life you've been chasing. And suddenly, it's not a chase anymore, it's a flow. Because life starts bringing you what already matches who you are. The greatest shift you can ever make is from trying to get to trying to be. Be the energy, be the leader, be the creator, be the partner. Be the version of yourself that lives in alignment with the results you claim to want. When you do this consistently, reality has no choice but to catch up. That's not magic, it's alignment. And when you're in alignment, things don't just come to you, they stay, because you're no longer attracting from a place of lack. You're attracting from identity, from embodiment, and that is where all lasting transformation begins. Your energy is louder than your voice, louder than your are-some, louder than your goals, your social media posts, and every affirmation you recite in the mirror. People feel you before they hear you. The universe, in its own way, listens not to your words, but to your state of being. You can say all the right things, make all the right plans, but if your energy is filled with fear, desperation, doubt, or resentment, that's what you radiate. And what you radiate, you attract. You don't attract what you pretend to be. You attract what you energetically broadcast. You may walk into a room and try to appear confident, but if your energy is rooted in insecurity, people will respond to that insecurity even if they can't explain why. You may speak about abundance, but if you carry the energy of lack, you'll continue to experience scarcity. Energy is truth, and energy is contagious. It influences every conversation, every opportunity, every interaction you encounter. This is why two people can say the exact same thing and produce entirely different results. One speaks from alignment, certainty, and authenticity. The other speaks from fear, need, or performance. One attracts trust, the other repels it. It's not about what they said, it's about the energy behind it. Your energy is the invisible message beneath everything you do. And it either builds a bridge to the life you desire or builds a wall between you and it. This is also why you can't trick life. You can't fake positive energy when your mind is filled with doubt and your actions betray your own words. You can't chant successful and then procrastinate every day. That contradiction creates energetic noise, mixed signals. And when your signal is confused, your results will be too. But when your thoughts, words, actions, and energy are in harmony, when they all say the same thing, then you become magnetic. Not because you said the right things, but because you are being the right frequency. So if you're not attracting what you want, check your energy. Are you aligned or are you acting? Are you embodying the version of you that your goals require? Or are you trying to compensate with force what you lack in frequency? This isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. Because your energy, whether elevated or drained, whether rooted in truth or fear, will speak for you long before you do. And the world will answer that energy, not your words. When you shift your energy, when you become the calm in the chaos, the belief in the doubt, the strength in the silence, everything changes. You stop chasing. You start drawing things in. Because energy speaks a language that life understands fluently. And once you start speaking it with clarity, confidence, and congruence, the life you've been wanting no longer feels far away. It begins to move toward you, not because you demanded it, but because you became the person it belongs to. So let me leave you with this final truth, etched not in fantasy, but in the unshakable laws of life. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. You don't attract success by craving it. You attract it by becoming disciplined, focused, and valuable. You don't attract love by needing it. You attract it by embodying self-respect, openness, and inner peace. You don't attract abundance by begging for it. You attract it by being abundant in thought, in action, in belief. The world doesn't owe you anything, but it reflects everything. It reflects your standards, your frequency, your identity. So stop waiting. Stop hoping life will change so you can finally become now. Be now. Align now. Because the moment you shift from wishing to becoming, from wanting to being, from chasing to radiating, everything begins to move. And in that moment, the world no longer resists you. It recognizes you, not because you asked louder, but because you finally spoke the one language it can't ignore, the language of alignment, the power of identity, the force of embodied truth. And that, my friend, is when life says, yes, now you're ready. Thank you.